Hi friends, welcome back to arpatakarva.com. Today we are entering into a period of revival, wit and entertainment. Yes, you guessed it right, it is the Restoration Age. Imagine a time when theatres reopened, monarchy was restored and literature embraced human in satire. Don't worry, calm down. We'll discuss everything in detail. If these terms just came like a bomb to you, don't worry. I'm going to decode each and every word one by one in this video. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about three major things. First, we look at the historical background of the Restoration Age. Then, we look at how literature transformed after the strict Puritan era that we saw in the last video. And we will take our journey from there. And then, towards the end, we are going to look at the major writers and their works that defined this exciting period, and we are also look at the most important works which are frequently asked in UGC NET exam. So if you want to understand the Restoration Age in just 10 minutes, then this video is perfect for you. So let's get started. But before that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more valuable content on UGC NET English Literature, because this video is a part of the chronological history of English literature series, and you will be able to find all the videos that we have done so far under this series in the playlist section. We started our journey from the Anglo-Saxon age, moved all the way to the age of Chaucer, then talked in detail about the Elizabethan period, Jacobean and Caroline age, and now we are here with the Restoration age. Okay, friends, so now let us move on and discuss the socio-political background of the Restoration period, which lasted from 1660 till 1700. Now, Restoration period, my friends, began with a significant political shift, and that was the return of the monarchy. After years of instability during the Civil War and the rule of the Lord Protector Mr. Oliver Cromwell, people of England were ready for a change. Charles II was finally invited back to take the throne in 1660, marking the beginning of the Restoration. And I would love to know how intelligent my audience is if you can tell me who is the father of this man, Charles II. I would love to know the answers in the comment box below. So, it's short. Basically, Charles II was invited back to take the throne, and this marked the beginning of restoration. And that is the reason why we call this age as the Restoration Age, because monarchy was restored in England. Now, unlike the strict rule of the Puritans, where you will see that they were very traditional and orthodox in their behavior, Charles II was complete opposite. He was known for his love for entertainment, luxury, and a lively court atmosphere. This is the reason why he earned the nickname Many Monarch. However, there was still political uncertainty as he did not have a son, and there was nobody who can be a legitimate heir to his throne. If you look at this merry monarch of ours, Charles II, and compare him to the Mughal Emperor Akbar, you will find a lot of similarities, because both of them were fond of entertainment, were fond of art and culture, and that's why both of them were quite a likable king. Now, after Charles II, his brother James II became king in the year 1685. But again, there was a big problem. James II was a Roman Catholic, while most of the England during this time was Protestant. So his religious policies made all the Protestants who were around the city fearful of Catholic dominance, and that is the reason why they were unhappy with him. Now, James the rule didn't last very long, but when his Catholic son, James Francis Edward Stuart, was born, people feared a Catholic monarchy would continue. They felt that, okay, now we are unhappy with James II. Now his son is also born, so he's going to take up the throne. And they were fearful of the fact that now they'll have Catholic dominance and Protestants would be punished. And this led to something called Glorious Revolution that happened in the year 1688, when Protestant leaders invited William of Orange, who became William III, to take over. So James II, he ran away, and England saw a peaceful transfer of power from James II to William III. Now, when you look at Glorious Revolution, you will be surprised to know that it was a big thing in the history of English literature as well as English culture, because it ended the idea of an all powerful king. Now, the monarchy had limited power and it had to follow the laws of the parliament. And this was a major step towards a constitutional monarchy. And this is the reason why Glorious Revolution is said to be one of the significant movement in the history. Now, during this time, another interesting thing happened. Two major political factions, or I would say parties, kind of emerged. One was Whigs, who opposed absolute monarchy and supported Protestantism. And on the other hand, we had Tories who supported the monarchy but were aligned with royal authority. Just like we have leftists and rightists these days, similarly, they had Whigs and Tories. Now, this period was a turning point in English history because it was shaping modern democracy and it was setting the stage for a stable government rule. And it also influenced literature, which we are going to explore in detail in our next section. But before we move on, did I mention that I have created a special PDF that summarizes this video and provides you with exam ready notes? You just have to drop a message on the WhatsApp number that is flashing on your screen, or click on the WhatsApp link that's there in the description box, and I'm going to send the PDF right on your phone. Okay, friends, now let us talk about the literary characteristics of the Restoration Age. After years of Puritan rule, theatres were finally opened. Playhouses flourished and drama once again became a popular form of artistic expression. Restoration drama was bold and lively, known for its wit, humor, and focus on the social and sexual intrigue. You'll be surprised to know that after a period of Puritan dominance, people started loving sexual drama so much because their passion and their love for theater was repressed so much that they wanted to go wild and they wanted to attend shows that were very explicit in the kind of content that it was staging. And for the first time, you'll be surprised to know it was during the Restoration Age that women gained recognition as professional writers. Women starting making a living through craft, producing plays, poetry, and prose. Literature of this age was heavily influenced by the classical works of ancient Greece and Rome, as well as French neoclassicism. Writers like Aristotle and Horace had a lasting impact on literary forms and styles. And a new form of comedy emerged, which is known as the comedy of manners. These plays satirized the aristocracy and their social conventions. And satire, as you can see, became a very powerful tool in literature, targeting political corruption, social hypocrisy, and extravagance of the aristocracy. Poetry, on the other hand, took on a structured and rhythmic form with the use of heroic couplet, rhymed pair of iambic pentameter lines that I think is going to be used so much more in the next stage, where we will have poet laureates like Alexander Pope coming into the picture and taking heroic couplets to all the way up to the finest form of writing poetry. And when we have talked about poetry, it's time to also look at the prose writing. So, when it comes to prose writing and essays, that also thrived during this period. So, अभी तक ऐसा था कि most of the time it was poetry and drama that is flourishing, but for the first time, prose writing and essays also gained importance. So, that was how literature evolved during the period of Restoration Age. And now is the time to move on to the next segment. So, as we begin our discussion and look at the major writers of the Restoration Age, it is important for you to know that I have already created an exhaustive list of writers that belong to different ages of English literature, and you can check out my website arpitakarwa.com for this free list, because this list will give you a blueprint before you start your preparation for UGC Net English and will help you understand which writers should you study in order to crack net in your first attempt? So I have further divided these writers into different categories based on the domain that they were writing in. For example, we have major prose writers in the Restoration Age, which would involve writers like John Dryden, Samuel Butler. Then, on the other hand, we have major dramatists like John Gay, William Congreve, Thomas Otway, Colley Gibber. So, these are the writers that you should acquaint yourself with when you start your preparation. Now, let's quickly understand what are the major works that these writers have written during this period. So, first we have John Dryden, and his most important works that you should study in detail are Absalom and Achitophel and Meg Flecknoe. Next up, we have another important writer who is known as William Congreve, and he has written a fantastic work that has been asked so many times in net exam that you cannot skip this work and sit for the exam. And the name of the work is Way of the World. And finally, we have an important writer in the female domain as well, a female writer, and that's none other than Aphra Behn. And her most important work is Urunuku. If you are looking for video lectures that can explain plot of all these important works of Restoration Age and all the other ages of English literature, then you can consider enrolling in my online course for UGC Net English. I'm proud to launch India's first animated video course where I explain over 500 important plays, novels and poetry in engaging manner. For more details, you can check out the description box. That's it from my side for this video lecture. We'll meet very soon in the next video lecture. Till the time we meet next, happy learning, keep loving literature, and stay tuned to arpitakarwa.com.